Tonight I got to introduce Chuck Renzo, which is always a privilege and an honor. Last year, I got to spend the whole weekend with over 50 men as they went through their paces, as the men are doing now. And what was always great is there was always this incredible pair of eyes that were just shining, and this smile that just got you across the room. And then when I found out later that his mother was in the audience, you know I had to work on that. But then, it wasn't all just show for the weekend. This year, he went to places no IML has ever gone. He has done things no IML has ever done. But he has always done it as a proud, gay, leather man and represented this community and everything that we hold dear. He has done us proud. Please welcome to the stage, International Mr. Leather 2015, Patrick Smith.
Lenny, that was beautiful, and that's high praise coming from Lenny Broberg, for those of you that know him. Good evening, Chicago. Here we are 1 year later. I need to start by saying that a friend sent me a picture a couple of weeks ago, and it was a picture of John Krongard holding my sash. And this friend of mine said, "My God, Patrick, you've aged." And I said, "I know, JW, I know I look a little worse for wear than at the start of the year, but I certainly don't look 80 years old." John skipped my roast last night, so that's payback. So here I am, a little older, a little wiser, wearing a little more clothing than the last time I stood on this stage. It's been quite the ride. 34 weekends away from home, 111,000 miles traveled, hundreds of events in 10 countries and 4 continents. I have been to some wonderful places and have had a truly amazing experience. I'm very often asked, what's the best thing about being International Mr. Leather? And the answer is very easy. It's the relationships. For the title lasts one short and fleeting year, but the relationships forged are what endure for a lifetime. And for that, I thank you. I've been very reflective lately. I think that probably goes without saying. And one of the memories I was reflecting on was during my time in Minneapolis. And a prominent member of our community came up to me and he said, "You've done things a little differently this year. Good job." And I kind of paused because I never thought of it that way. But it really touched me. I guess, or what people saw at least, I did do things a little differently. And as I reflected, I asked myself why that was, and the only answer I could come up with was, why not? Growing up in Canada, things were very different. And contrary to the upbringing of many in this country and around the world, I was fortunate enough to grow up being taught to always be yourself and to never hide. In sex ed class, starting in grade 4, I was taught that some people are straight and some people are gay, and that is not a choice. My parents, they always taught me, be yourself, and I was. You know, I remember trying on my mother's heels once. Thinking, damn, this feels pretty good. Not to mention how great they made my legs look. And that was okay. But it wasn't okay everywhere. And it's still not okay everywhere. And as a kid, I didn't realize that. So eventually I grew up to a career in politics. I worked my way up to a position in the Prime Minister's office, and from my desk there, I began to pay closer attention to international affairs. And I heard about and I read the most horrific stories. Public beheadings of gay people, imprisonment, public humiliation, the harsh words of foreign leaders we hear all the time, but that still cut so deep. We have all spent years hearing about it and internalizing it. So when I had the chance to come here to Chicago, to stand on this international stage, I wanted to talk about it. Some of you may remember my speech. I celebrated the progress we had made as a community and how fascinating and how exciting it was, how quickly all of this had happened for us. I mean, my mother was even in the audience. But I also pointed out that all of this progress we've made was progress here at home, and how in other parts of the world, instead of going forward, we were going back. So when I was bestowed this tremendous honor of winning this title, I didn't want it to just be words, or lip service spoken from the safety of the stage in metropolitan downtown Chicago. There's a reason there's an I in IML. So that is why I took the sash, our community's sash, to places like Uganda, Egypt, Morocco, the Ukraine, places where people are beaten up or jailed every day just for being who they are. And some people ask me, fairly, what I hope to accomplish from all this. What difference could International Mr. Leather make by visiting these places? And don't worry, I was under no illusion that I was saving the world, or that I was some savior sent from America to fix their problems. But what I wanted to do is to send a message that this community stands with them. We are sexual minorities too, even here in our own country, even within the gay community. And that we, as a leather community, are not afraid to put it all on the line to help out our international brothers and sisters. And that maybe, if we talk about it enough here at home, we will recreate that movement for change internationally that got us marriage equality and so many other victories here in the United States. I am so proud and I am so honored to announce something to you tonight. And this just came together yesterday, so you're all the first people hearing about it. I will be continuing my global support for LGBT and human rights with the Harvey Milk Foundation under the leadership of Stuart Milk, Harvey Milk's nephew. Because the message of Harvey Milk is truly universal. The more people that come out and stand up, as dangerous as it may be, they send the message that they are the teachers, the doctors, the brothers, and the sisters of people everywhere. And that is a message I am honored to help the foundation share. But I don't want this speech to be all about me, because this year I have stood on the shoulders of you and this community. You know, it is this community that is uniquely positioned to deliver a powerful message to the world. Because what are we all about? Unapologetic sexual freedom, openness. As a leather community, we don't hide. And we don't want our brothers and sisters anywhere in this world to have to hide. Amen. Our sexual openness is our greatest gift to this world. It is a message of freedom and sex positivism that is on the cutting edge of gender issues and societal change. It is a message that only we, as liberated as we are, can deliver. And it is a message that this world needs to hear. Because ultimately, what would we like to see? We would like for every kid growing up, whether it's in Utah or Uganda, to think that all of this is no big deal. To go to school and learn that some people are gay and some people are straight, just like I did. And it's not just about international activism. Because beyond the cause of international sexual freedom and equality, there is a broader message here. And it is one of reaching out beyond the leather scene, to build bridges outwardly, to go places we don't usually go, to not be insular. One of my most rewarding experiences as IML was speaking to a church congregation here in the US, wearing full leather. I spoke to them for a half hour and I told them what we're all about, what we stand for. And contrary to what those right-wing pastors would have you believe, the church didn't burn down when IML walked through the doors. In fact, the parishioners were quite gracious and appreciative of the message that we have to share. So given all of this, I would like to ask something of you. Never hide. Never hide what you're all about. Your wants, your desires, what's in your heart. And be proud of the message this community has to offer. Because people all around the world go to bed literally dreaming of what we have here. To have the freedom and openness that we enjoy here on this Memorial Day weekend every year. And you know, if I can stand on this stage and talk about all of my sexual proclivities with my mother in the audience, and by the way, she came back this year, we didn't scare her away. and you can talk about it too. It's a challenge to which we all must rise. To our global community, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for sending me on this adventure of a lifetime, for all the laughs, the late nights, the conversations, for all of your support, for giving me not just some incredible experiences, but for allowing me to truly find my voice, and for changing me forever. To my husband and the love of my life, Michael, thank you for the patience and the commitment you showed to me throughout this year. You've got me back now, and I cannot wait to spend lazy Saturdays on the couch with you again. And while at the end of the day, my heart belongs to you, Michael, you're going to have to share a big piece of it with all the people I've met on this crazy adventure. To all of you, being your international Mr. Leather, representing this title for you, has been the single greatest honor of my life. And I could not have done it without your love and support. So I want you to remember this message of change tonight. I want you to go out and have an incredible IML weekend. And I want you to have a lot of fun with the next guy. Thank you.